What is going on, guys? Today we are taking a look at a 20,000 milliamp solar powered Qi wireless charging power bank by Sozo Power Banks. But before we jump into the details on this guy, I just want to say, if this is your first time to the channel, welcome to Plug and Play. If you like this review and you want to see more reviews just like this and other tech related videos, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit that bell notification so you don't miss any other videos. But without further ado, let's jump into the review. Really quickly, before we get started with the specs on this guy, I just want to say thank you to Sozo Power Banks for sending me this power bank to do this review. And as usual, guys, I want to assure you that this is not an ad. This is not sponsored. They are not paying me to give this a positive or a negative review. I'm going to tell you exactly the experience that I had, the things I love and the things I don't love about this power bank to help you guys make a better buying decision. Now, with that out of the way, let's talk about some specs. So right off the bat, pretty straightforward. I mean, obviously we know this is a 20,000 milliamp power bank. Doing the math on that guy, most phones nowadays are roughly somewhere in the realm of 3,000 milliamps. At 20,000 milliamps, you're going to be able to charge this guy 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18,000. So you're looking at least 6 times you're going to be able to charge a 3,000 milliamp device with this guy here before you're going to need to really charge this guy and then some, right? 20,000 milliamps. So you're going to be able to get a lot of charges out of this guy on a solo device. But what's really cool about this guy is it's not only, this isn't designed for just one device at the same time. You can charge up to 4 devices simultaneously with this power bank, and I'm going to tell you how in just a second. So moving on with some of the extracurricular stuff that this guy comes with, right off the bat, obviously it does have a solar power, power bank on here. It's got a solar panel. You're looking at a 300 milliamp solar panel. What that means is every hour in sun, you're looking at 300 milliamps being loaded onto the power bank. What that equates to is a very large charging time on solar, right? These are not, I always got to make this little caveat. The solar panel on solar power banks is not going to be your main source of charging. It's something that you can use in emergency situations. In this scenario, it works really well for charging the light. The amount of charge that you can get on here can power this light for a very long time, but it's not going to be your main charging source, so don't rely on that. The other thing you want to keep in mind is that if you wanted to use this as your main charging source, because it was an emergency situation, keep in mind you don't want to leave this guy in 100% direct sunlight for a really long time. And the reason why is heat and batteries don't mix, okay? Heat and batteries do not mix. So you're saying, okay, well, what am I supposed to do? Put it in the shade? That's actually exactly what I'm saying. So the way that these work, and I want to throw this out there really quick. I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent real fast. 25,000 lux is what generally gets these solar panels to their maximum charging capacity. You can get pretty darn close to that with indirect light on a bright sunny day with no clouds. So what I mean by that is if I was out, in the park, I wanted to put this guy out and I wanted to get a charge, keeping it just out of direct sunlight, I would still get pretty darn close to the same maximum charging capacity without having it directly in the sun and being adversely heated by the heat, right? So to keep that in mind, you want to keep it cool. You don't want to leave this in your car, on the seat so that it's charging throughout the day. The heat in your car is going to get so dangerously hot. You run the risk of blowing up the battery, causing some damage, ruining the product. So keep that in mind, guys. Be safe with heat and sun directly on this guy. Indirect sun works just as well. Moving on from there, and one of the other things that has really got me on this power bank in particular, one major benefit that I love about this power bank is the light. Now, I've done reviews on other power banks very, very similar to this one that have a flashlight, right? And what I mean by that is they've got an LED, in a mirrored chamber with, and they're designed for you to, use it like a flashlight, point it at things and use it like that. This is a true light source. And what I mean by that is, well, let me show you what I mean by that. When you turn this guy on, it's not just a beam. This is a full-blown light panel. So it's really hard to see, but this entire charging pad here becomes a light panel. And now you've gone from being a single beam or double beam flashlight to being a light source. Now, you turn this guy up, you can really crank the light up on this guy. But the cool thing is with this guy is that where I see this being a huge benefit as opposed to a flashlight style is if you're a camper, you're a backpacker, you work in a shop, you want this to light up a room, maybe the power goes out, things like that. This is going to be a light source, similar to something like a candle or some other, plug-in powered type of light. This is gonna light up a room, right? This is gonna give you a pretty good amount of light as opposed to a flashlight single beam kind of light. So this is a very unique scenario. So if you're, I would say if you're camping, this is going to be great to light up a tent, to light up a space, you know, that kind of thing at night. So keep that in mind. This is a really, really handy feature. The amount of light that this guy puts out is a ton, and it uses very little battery. So if you wanted to use this as a light source with a 20,000 milliamp battery, this thing is going to go for hours and hours and hours, which is sweet. So some of the other positive specs, we're going to talk about the things that I like here, and then we'll jump into a couple of things that I don't like. You got 3 USB ports on this guy here. So you're going to be able to charge 3 devices simultaneously via USB, but it also has Qi wireless charging built in. So what that means is you can charge up to 4 devices. 3 devices via USB and 1 via wireless charging. And I actually tested this. So as you'll see in this clip right here, I actually charged 4 devices simultaneously, my phone and 3 other devices via USB, which allowed me, I mean, that's pretty amazing to be able to charge 4 devices. I think that is the highest number of devices that I've been able to charge on a power bank thus far. I've done a lot of reviews on some really powerful power banks, but this guy did 4 devices simultaneously, which was pretty freaking sweet. So now let's talk about a couple things that I'm not a huge fan of. The first thing that I would say that is a negative about this guy is that being a 20,000 milliamp power bank, the only charging source is micro USB. Now, it is what it is. Micro USB isn't the fastest charging. And my testing, you know, it was it's a pretty slow charge. This is going to take all day long on a charger to get this guy back up to full capacity. And so, you know, I would like to see USB-C. I would like to get that extra little bit of charge, or like some of the power banks that I've been reviewing, they have micro USB and USB-C, and you can actually plug them both in simultaneously and double down on the charging speed. So that's what I would like to see on a power bank of this size. But micro USB, it's what you got. It's been a pretty good standard up until now. So a little bit of a negative there. Slow charging, you know, it is what it is, but hopefully in the future we'll see USB-C get added onto maybe a newer version of this. But that was the first thing that I didn't like about this charger. Second thing, and the next thing that I didn't really like about this charger is the fact that these 3 USB ports, none of them are quick charge capable. They are all pretty standard charging speeds. In my testing, none of them were putting my phone into fast wireless charge or fast charging at all. So you're gonna get a slower charge on all 3 panels. However, you know, when you really look at it, you take a step back, you look at the utility. I can charge 3 devices via USB and 1 via Qi wireless charging, which is pretty freaking sweet. I would like to see at least one, you know, be a fast charge 3.0 kind of thing going on, you know, so I could get some fast charging on at least one device that's plugged in. But, you know, I get to settle for charging 4 devices at the same time, a little bit slower than I'd like, but that, you know, that is what it is. So, you know, negative, positive, it's really hard to say, but there you go. And my last negative that I have with this guy is that the wireless charging pad on this is not a quick charge or fast charge wireless pad. So again, standard trickle charge, you know, you're looking at a standard, you know, micro USB kind of speed, you know, 5 watts, I think is kind of between 5 and 6 watts is kind of what you're looking at for the charging there. So it's not going to be super fast. It's not going to be the 10 watt, you know, that I'm used to, you know, even some of them are up to 14 watt, 18 watts. I've even seen there's some crazy wireless charging pads. But so it's not going to be the fastest charging, but it charges it. It does it. You know what I mean? So negative or not, there you go. There you have it. So with all of that said, do I think you should buy this? Yes, I do. I actually think this is a really, really great product. You know, when I first got it, I pulled it out of the box and I was comparing it to some of the other stuff that I had done, you know, reviews wise, and I was like, hey, I don't know if this thing's going to stack up very well, but you know, when it comes down to being able to charge 4 devices simultaneously, you can't sneeze at that. That is pretty impressive for being such a compact piece of equipment. Being able to charge 4 devices simultaneously is huge. You get the solar panel on the back. Again, you know, it performs just like any of the other solar panels that you would come to expect on a power bank. So it does what it needs to do. You know, you got the micro USB charging, which is a little bit of a negative, but then you've got that light. You've got this light right here, which is just so much stinking light. I just really, really like that feature. You know, in comparison to the flashlight styles, I think that is just a superior. it's superior in a very specific use case. So like I said, if you're camping, you know, disaster preparedness, you want to keep a couple of these in the house for when the power goes out. These are great options for lighting up a large space as opposed to just being a flashlight. So that's a great alternative to some of the other ones on the market. So I think that's definitely something to consider. So all things considered, you know, with the amount of charging you can do, the amount of battery life that you get, and the price right now at the time of making this video is about 50 bucks on Amazon, which puts it in a great range with the cost, you know, for utility. You really get a lot of bang for your buck from the Sozo 20,000 milliamp power bank with Qi, solar, the whole thing. So I say yes. I say this is a great piece of equipment. So hopefully this was helpful for you. If it was, please let me know down in the comment section below. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you want to know more about it, you want me to do any additional testing, anything you want to talk about, throw them down in the comment section below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give it a thumbs down, just so I know whether I should even keep making videos. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, guys, as usual, that is it for me, and I will see you in the next video.